You know that feeling, right? That nagging thought that life is just too short. But what if that's not a bug, but a feature? What if there's a secret hidden in that very shortness? Today, we're going to dive into a perspective that completely flips our biggest complaint about life right on its head.
I mean, it's a question everybody asks at some point. You look at old photos, remember that feeling of having all the time in the world, and you just think, man, where did it go? It's a totally universal feeling. But what's interesting is the source material we're looking at today suggests maybe, just maybe, we're asking the wrong question entirely.
Okay, so this really gets to the heart of it. On one hand, you've got our usual view. Life is short, my youth is gone, and that's a bummer, right? But on the other hand, we have this totally different take. It says, hold on, instead of complaining, what if you looked for the secret, the treasure that's hidden inside its shortness? It completely reframes the whole thing, not as a loss, but as a huge opportunity.
All right, first things first. To really get this, we've got to kind of rethink what life and death even mean. The big idea here is to stop seeing life as this one single thing and start seeing it as a continuous series of movements, of transitions.
Now listen to this quote. The key word there, taste. See, it's not be consumed by or end with, it's a taste. The source sees this not as some scary final stop, but more like a brief experience before you move on. The implication is huge. There's no end, just a change, a shift to somewhere else. Just think about your own life, right? When you went from being a baby to a kid, did anyone call that a death? No way. It was just the next stage, a natural step. Well, the argument here is that going from old age to whatever is next is exactly the same. It's not the end of the book, it's just turning the page to a new chapter. Okay, brace yourselves because this next part is a bit of a mind bender. For real, it's going to challenge something we all take for granted, this idea that we own our lives. Think about how we talk. We say it all the time. My youth, my teenage years, my strength, my life. We say my, like these things are our property, like a car or a phone. And it feels so natural. But the text we're looking at uses this very common phrase to set up a question that is just devastatingly simple.
And boom, there it is. Seriously, just think about that for a second. If it was really yours, why'd you let it go? If your youth was your property, wouldn't you have locked it up and kept it safe? The fact that it just left without asking you, well, that points to a pretty profound idea. Maybe, just maybe, it was never yours in the first place.
So if these things aren't our possessions, what are they? The source uses this word, a trust. It's like something was given to you for safekeeping, you know? Not to own forever. You are entrusted with it for a while, to use it for a reason. This shifts our role from owner to caretaker, a huge difference.
And check this out. It's not just about youth. Look at this stuff. Your very life, your free will, your brain power, your ability to love, heck, even your power, your anger, your courage. According to this way of thinking, all of it is on loan. Man, that is a really powerful and kind of humbling way to think about who we are, isn't it? Okay, so you're probably asking, why? What's the point of this temporary trust? Well, the idea is that our youth here on Earth, it's just a shadow. It's like a free sample. It's a little taste to help us understand and appreciate the real thing, an eternal, perfect youth that's waiting for us. You know, a version that never gets old, never gets sick, never goes away. Our temporary youth is just the measuring stick for that ultimate reality.
Now this leads us to something I find fascinating, a totally radical way of looking at the ego. We usually think of the ego as this bad thing, right? Something we have to fight or get rid of. But in this text, it's not the enemy. It's actually presented as an essential tool. Yep, you guessed it. Just like your life and your youth, your ego, that sense of me, of I, is also a trust. It's described as this little hypothetical seed that's been given to us, and it has one specific job, to measure. So the big question is, what exactly is it supposed to be measuring? Well, it's basically a three-step process. Step one, you use that I to measure yourself. To figure out, okay, who am I? What am I good at? What am I not so good at? Where do I fit in? Then, step two. Once you have that self-knowledge, you use it as your ruler to measure and understand everything else in the world. And finally, step three. Based on all that measuring, you start to build your personality, your identity. See, the ego isn't the villain here. It's more like your personal compass. But here's the catch. Like any powerful tool, how you use this ego seed is, well, It's everything. And the text lays out this incredibly stark choice. The same starting point, this one little seed, can lead you down two totally, completely opposite paths.
So, path number 1. You use the ego with modesty. You remember that it's just a trust, something you're looking after.
And what happens? A paradise tree starts to grow. Now, this is a metaphor, obviously. It represents a beautiful, fulfilling life. A destiny where that humility unlocks all the good stuff the ego can do. But then, there's path number 2. You take that very same seed, but you use it with arrogance. You start to believe you own the trust.
And what grows from that? A hell tree. A life that's bitter and destructive. It's such a powerful warning, isn't it? The exact same tool can build a paradise or a hell. The only difference is how you choose to use it.
So, wow. What do we even do with all that? We started with a pretty common complaint, life's too short, and we've ended up staring at this massive, profound choice about our very own soul. Let's pull it all together for the big takeaway. This, right here, this is the heart of it all. Real security, real peace of mind, it comes when you finally get that you are a caretaker of a trust, not an owner. The person who tries to possess everything, who clings desperately to their youth, their power, their ego, they're actually the most insecure person in the room. Why? Because they're fighting a losing battle, trying to hold on to something that was never ever theirs to keep. And so that leaves us right here with this final question for you. If your ego isn't an enemy you need to destroy, but a tool you were given to measure the world and build who you are, then the only question that matters isn't if you have an ego, it's what are you building with it? Are you using it with humility to grow that paradise tree, or with arrogance to grow a hell tree? The tool is in your hands.